I want you to picture a woman running across a 6-lane highway in the middle of the night. July, Dallas, Texas, 1976. The air is so thick with summer heat you can taste it on your tongue. Her face is swollen shut on one side. Her lip is split open. The blood on her white dress has already dried into something that looks like rust in the glow of the passing headlights. She has 36 cents in her pocket and a mobile gas station credit card. That is it. No bag, no shoes she can trust on the pavement, no plan beyond the neon sign across the interstate that says Ramada Inn. She does not look back, not once. That woman is Tina Turner, and this is the night everything changes. If this is your first time here, I'm Marlo, and this is She Burned Bright, where I tell the stories of women who changed the sound of rock and roll. If these stories matter to you, hit that subscribe button and give this one a like so more people can find it. Before she was Tina, she was Anna Mae Bullock, born November 26, 1939, in Nutbush, Tennessee. If you have never heard of Nutbush, that is because it barely exists on a map. A small, unincorporated community in Haywood County, where the cotton fields stretch so far in every direction, they swallowed the horizon. Her father, Floyd, worked as an overseer on a sharecropper's farm. Her mother, Zelma, picked cotton right alongside the children under a sun that did not care who you were. Anna Mae was singing before she could read. She stood in the choir at Spring Hill Baptist Church every Sunday, and even as a little girl, her voice filled up the room in a way that made the adults go quiet. But the house was not a safe place. Her parents fought. The walls were thin. And when Anna Mae was 11 years old, her mother Zelma walked out the front door one morning and never came back. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. 2 years later, her father Floyd left too. He married another woman and moved to Detroit, leaving his daughters behind like they were things he no longer needed. Anna Mae was 13, abandoned by both parents before she was old enough to drive. She moved in with her grandmother, Georgiana, in Brownsville. Years later, she wrote in her autobiography that she always felt her parents did not love her, that she was simply not wanted by anyone. That wound never fully closed. It just learned to hide. At 17, she moved to St. Louis to live with her mother, who had resurfaced there. One night, she walked into a nightclub called Club Manhattan and saw a man named Ike Turner commanding the stage with his band, the Kings of Rhythm. He was magnetic, dangerous, electric. She begged to sing with the band. He let her take the microphone one night, almost as a joke. But when she opened her mouth, something in that room shifted. It was not love that Ike felt, it was possession. He gave her a new name, Tina Turner. He gave her a stage, and then piece by piece he took everything else. Their first single, A Fool in Love, hit the charts in 1960 and climbed into the top 30. Suddenly they were famous. The Ike and Tina Turner Revue tore across the country, playing night after night to packed rooms. But behind the stage lights, the violence had already begun. The first time she told him she was not sure about the relationship, he hit her across the head with a wooden shoe stretcher. After that, the beatings became as routine as rehearsal. He broke her jaw. He fractured her ribs. He threw scalding hot coffee in her face, leaving third-degree burns on her skin. He used her nose as a punching bag so many times that she could taste the blood running down the back of her throat while she sang on stage, smiling for the audience. She wrote later that there was not a single day without fear. not one day in 16 years. In 1968, she swallowed a bottle of Valium after discovering Ike had been with 3 different women in the same night. She woke up in a hospital room, and then she went back to work. Because Ike owned the name, Ike owned the money, Ike controlled the bookings, and Ike told her every single day that she was nothing without him, that no one would ever want her alone. But in 1973, something shifted inside her. A woman named Valerie Bishop, who worked in Ike's recording studio, introduced Tina to Nichiren Buddhism and the practice of chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. At first, it was just sound, just syllables repeated in a room where no one was listening. But the more she chanted, the more something inside her began to stir. She described it years later as a door opening deep within herself, a slow gathering of clarity and courage she had never been able to reach before. Some days she chanted for hours, not praying for rescue, not asking to be saved, just building something in her chest that felt like steel. It took 2 full years of daily practice before she understood what the chanting was truly preparing her for. It was not peace, it was departure. July 1st, 1976, Ike and Tina were on tour, traveling from the Dallas airport to the Statler Hilton Hotel. In the back seat of the car, something set Ike off. It could have been anything, a word, a silence. He started punching her, her face, her head, over and over again, with his fists and then with the heel of his shoe. By the time they reached the hotel, her face was almost unrecognizable. He dragged her to the room. She sat still. She waited. And when he finally passed out, she did not hesitate. She did not pack a bag. She put on her sunglasses to cover the bruising, walked through the hotel lobby, pushed through the glass doors into the Dallas night, and ran. She ran across 6 lanes of Interstate 30 in the dark, cars blaring their horns, and she kept going until she reached the Ramada Inn on the other side. The night manager saw her walk through the door. He recognized her despite the blood and the swelling. He gave her a room on the 11th floor. He posted an armed guard outside her door. He sent up soup because her jaw was so swollen she could not chew solid food. She stayed there for 3 days, hidden, healing, breathing for the first time in 16 years. On July 27th, she filed for divorce, and she walked away with nothing. No house, no savings, no car, no royalties. Just 36 cents, a mobile credit card, and a Buddhist prayer still on her lips. The years that followed were brutal in a completely different way. The divorce settlement left her with almost nothing. Ike kept the money, the publishing rights, the masters, the name recognition. The only thing Tina asked for was the right to keep the stage name Tina Turner, and she got it. But the music industry did not want a solo Tina Turner. She was over 35. She was a black woman in a business that routinely discarded both. Every label she approached said the same thing. Too old, too risky, too tied to Ike. So she cleaned houses to pay rent. She played tiny casino lounges in Las Vegas and cabaret rooms for whatever cash they offered. Some nights the audiences were smaller than the band. She performed on television variety shows just to keep her name alive. But she never stopped. She never called Ike. She never begged anyone. She never quit chanting. She worked every single room like it held 100,000 people. And then, in 1983, something cracked open. A British producer named Martin Ware from the band Heaven 17 invited her to record a synth-pop version of Al Green's Let's Stay Together. The track became a surprise hit in the United Kingdom. climbing to number 6 on the charts. Capitol Records noticed. They offered her a record deal. And in May of 1984, at the age of 44, Tina Turner released an album called Private Dancer. It sold 12 million copies worldwide. The lead single, What's Love Got to Do With It, went all the way to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for 3 weeks. She became the oldest female solo artist at that time to ever reach the number 1 spot. At the Grammy Awards in February of 1985, she won 3 trophies in a single night, including Record of the Year. The girl from a cotton field in Nutbush, who had been told every day that she was nothing, was now standing on the biggest stage in music, holding gold in her hands. And every single person who had ever counted her out had to sit there and watch. But she was not done, not even close. In January of 1988, Tina Turner walked onto the stage at the Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro. 180,000 people were waiting for her. 180,000. It was the largest paying concert audience for any solo artist in history, and it earned her a Guinness World Record. She stood on that stage with her legs planted wide, her voice rolling out like thunder over the crowd, and the sound that came back at her was not just applause, it was vindication. It was proof that the woman who had run across a highway in the dark with 36 cents had built something that no one on earth could take from her. In 1986, she met a German music executive named Erwin Bach. He had been sent to pick her up at the Dusseldorf airport, and she said later that it was love at first sight. He was 16 years younger than her. He did not care about the fame or the money or the legend. He cared about the woman underneath all of it. They were together for 27 years before they married in July of 2013 at their home on the shores of Lake Zurich in Küsnacht, Switzerland. And when her kidneys began to fail from a lifetime of uncontrolled high blood pressure, Erwin did something that stunned her. He offered to donate one of his own kidneys. She wrote in her memoir that he shocked her by saying he wanted to give her one of his. In April of 2017, after testing confirmed he was a match, he did exactly that. The man who had loved her for 3 decades gave a piece of his own body so she could keep living. That is not romance. That is devotion on a level most people never get to witness. But the years kept taking from her. Her eldest son, Craig, the boy she had as a teenager, died by suicide in July of 2018. He was 59 years old. Tina said she believed he was lonely. That loneliness got him more than anything else. Her son, Ronnie, her only biological child with Ike, died of colon cancer complications in December of 2022. He was 62. She had already survived a stroke in 2013 and an intestinal cancer diagnosis in 2016. Her body was failing, but she kept going. She kept chanting. She kept choosing to be here. Tina Turner died on May 24th, 2023, at her home in Küsnacht, Switzerland. She was 83 years old. She had gone from a cotton field in Nutbush, Tennessee, to a villa on the shores of Lake Zurich. She had gone from a woman who owned nothing, not even her own name, to the undisputed queen of rock and roll. Not because anyone crowned her, not because the industry opened a door, because she kicked it down herself. Step by step, song by song, night after night, with 36 cents and a voice that could crack the sky wide open. And if that story does not burn bright, I do not know what does. If her story moved you, there is another one waiting right here that I think you need to hear. I will see you there.